Hello everyone, my name is Triton and I'm here today talking about a new free plugin, though it's only free for a limited time, as it says right here. It's the Cakewalk CA-2A leveling amplifier, and it's one of, well, of course it's an emulation of an LA-2A, but it's one of those types of compressors that when I first started using it, I wasn't sure if I liked it, but after a while, I realized that I was starting to miss it after I got rid of my previous version of it. So one thing that's really cool about this giveaway is that there aren't really any good free LA-2A compressors. There's one by Variety of Sound, and I've used it, but I didn't really like it too much, but maybe it's because I just didn't really get into it, I don't know, but this one is really good. I keep hearing people say that it's not like an actual LA-2A, but I feel like they did a good job. It's a good compressor, even if it's not 100% accurate. So you just have to go to this URL, I'll leave a link in the description, and you can sign up for a Cakewalk account, and then you'll be able to get your free plugin. It wants you to install the Cakewalk Command Center, and if you don't want to, I believe there is supposed to be a way around it. Something like going into your products and your account, and you can download it separately and do an offline install. But the Cakewalk Command Center is for an online install. So you have to look at that after you do this, because I just downloaded the Command Center. But I guess the real question is here: where would you actually use an LA-2A in your mixes? And so that's what I sort of want to talk about. So let's head over to Reaper. All right, so here we are at Reaper. There are two main places that I use in LA-2A now, and that is on bass guitar and kick and snare, or just drums in general. I try it out, and if it works, it works. I often also use it on vocals. As a matter of fact, you are hearing it on my voiceover right now, and I feel like it sounds really good. It's still pretty smooth, and maybe it's a bit fast. Like maybe the attack's a bit faster than some others that I've heard, but it does sound really good. So let's look at the bass, and we can talk about how I use it on bass first. So let's just talk about the bass tone. I have it running through, this is the DI track. I have it running through Amplitude 4, the SVT4 Pro, into a bass impulse response, a free one that I found online, but it's been so long that I don't remember where it came from anymore. And we can just listen to that tone as it is now. It's not an extremely well played bass line. It's just sort of a normal bass line, and you can see that there are some parts that are a bit louder. And this is what we sort of need the compression for, because in metal and even in pop music and electronic music, a lot of the time you want the bass to be extremely flat or extremely controlled, we can say. So in order to do that, I often run the bass through an 1176 compressor, and this is a free one that comes with Reaper. I want to take away 9 to 12 dB, this area of gain reduction. It seems like a lot, but for bass, you can get away with that much. Just a 4:1 ratio, and the attack is fairly in the middle, enough to let the initial attack through and to not squash everything too much. And then the release is a bit faster. So let's hear what this is doing. So this compressor is compressing the majority of the bass, and it's bringing everything forward. It's bringing the body forward a bit. But you can sort of hear that, especially this area here, and even these sorts of areas are still a little bit out of control. And of course, you could do some automation to make sure things are right, but you can just bring in the Cakewalk compressor and have it on just compress. Turn this all the way to flat. Just trying to compress, I think it was around 3 dB. And here we go. Let's try it out. You can really hear in this spot how without this you can feel this coming in, and it needs to be tamed a bit. So with the LA-2A in, it's really controlling this bass rather nicely, and it's making it so much more smooth. And that's sort of what I always use the LA-2A for, is to smooth things out in a very nice way. So it works really well on bass. And the other thing that I really like to use it for, well, I really like to test it out. You know, I try it out on these things and see if it works first. And that is a kick and snare. So I just grabbed something in Easy Drummer, just a preset, and then some MIDI. And so let's just listen to the original drum track. So it sounds pretty good. I mean, it's just a normal sort of thing here. But if you listen to the snare by itself, this is where I like to use the LA-2A and an 1176 again. So the idea with this is that sometimes you want a sound to really punch or pop through, and this is a great way to get a very sort of classic sounding snare. And it works a bit better on a real snare in my mind, but you get the general idea when using it on this. So the idea of the LA-2A is to sort of smooth out the top end of the transient and to add a little bit of strength and weight. And then the 1175 is to sort of blast it, because it's in all buttons in mode and doing quite a bit of compression. Let's just hear how it sounds. So if you listen, without the LA-2A on, it really lacked a lot of the strength that it should have had. So when you bring that in, it gets a bit bigger, and it has more. It seems like there's more force behind it, which is really nice. Let me disengage both of them, turn it back on at the same time, so you can hear what it's really doing. So it's really adding punch, and I'm not 100% sure this is something I would do to this snare, but it actually doesn't sound that bad. Maybe this could be on a parallel track and it would sound really good. But that's sort of what you can do with snare. And you can do exactly the same thing on kick drum. So let's listen to the kick drum, and then I'll bring in the compression. So on the kick drum, it was a lot more obvious. It really sounded like it was making it focus, and it sounded really good on the kick drum. So you can listen to it in the full mix real quick. Might as well. So here it kind of brought out the attack of both of those things, make it a bit more obvious. Of course, in a full mix, there's something that can probably help, so it's something to keep in mind when you're doing your mixes. Yeah, so those are the two basic spots that I generally like to use in LA-2A. Of course, sometimes I use it on guitars, just add a little bit of weight to them, and sometimes I use it on unruly overheads, anywhere that I need something to be like I don't really want to hear the compression coming in. I just want it to be very smooth. So you guys should definitely check out the free Cakewalk CA-2A. I actually sort of like it a bit more than the Waves LA-2A. I used that one for a bit, and I think I actually prefer this one a little bit more. And you can get it for free, and I'm not sure how long this is going to last. It's not a special promotion. It's just something that they decided to do. So we'll just have to wait and see. So hopefully by the time you see this video, you can still download it for free with the link in the description. If not, then the normal price, which is $99. I still feel like it's not that bad of a price for a very decent LA-2A style compressor. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick video, and the quick compression tips also helped you out a little bit. I think that's about it. So have a nice day. See ya.